What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total, and the offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, the market's doing a good job so far. If SPY continues this pump, we're looking for 563 as long as 560 holds. Now, what happened was we got an initial sell-off, okay? We got this sell-off with the Michigan consumer sentiment data. The consumer sentiment is very weak and inflationary expectations are very high. We're expecting a big surge in inflation, so this caused a temporary pullback in the markets. But then the market got bought back up, and for now, we're looking a bit more bullish. So why is the market bouncing like this? I mentioned in my morning video that we have some potential bullish catalysts, such as the fact that Russia and Ukraine may be signing a ceasefire deal. They're still negotiating, especially Russia still has more terms it wants to be agreed upon. And then on top of that, even though that's not being signed yet, there is optimism about that. And then the other big thing is going to be the government shutdown potentially being avoided. So President Trump has come out. He even praised Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer because he came out and mentioned that he is willing to vote in favor of the Republican bill to fund the government and avert a shutdown. He also mentioned that a shutdown is going to be the worst case, and he is once again still in favor of that. So that's some very, very big news. So keep that in mind. He also mentioned that he's doing what he can to avoid the shutdown, as we're seeing the Senate scrambling right now. But what typically happens is, we have these politicians just argue, and then at the very last minute, they should be pushing this bill through. What has to happen is the Senate needs to sign it and pass it, and then it's going to be passed on to Donald Trump. President Trump is going to sign it, and then that's going to help us avoid the shutdown. If we get a shutdown, it's going to be bad for the economy because you have to remember that lots of funding is going to be paused, and then we're going to be looking for many federal employees. Hundreds of thousands of them are not going to be paid, at least for quite a while, right? It's not going to be good news. So, right, they're trying to avoid a shutdown. They have to negotiate, try to get their deal together, sign the bill as soon as possible. And it's possible that by either the end of the day today, if not by tomorrow, the announcement comes out that they came out with the decision, and then President Trump, will be signing the bill. So I think there's a very good chance that's going to happen. I think that's most likely what's going to happen, but just to be safe, you want to be open-minded. And I really hope we avoid a shutdown. If they do sign the funding bill, that could also help the stock market push higher, especially going into next week for the time being. So keep that in mind. Is this going to be a massive reversal, or is it going to be very small? That depends, guys. For now, we're going to take this one step at a time. So I want to see SPY test 563.5 and try to break through that. If we break that, we could remain bullish. If we end up losing, however, 560, look for a move back down to 558. For now, we're looking a bit more bullish. As long as we're above 560, we are favoring the upwards direction. 563.5 is a very reasonable target as long as we hold 560. Always remember, guys, that the market could change directions in a flash, so you want to be very open-minded, and you also want to be able to identify the key levels, which is why I go over bullish and bearish cases for you guys in case anything happens. But for now, at the time I'm recording this video, the market's looking bullish, and we're still favoring the upwards direction, so I'm going to be very, very blunt about that. For the QQQ, I don't want to see it lose 477. If we can hold above that, that's going to be a good sign. If we do lose it, we're going to be dumping back down to 475. So watch those supports to be safe. Right now, we're at 478. As long as we're above that, I think we favor 480 as a potential target. If we could break that, we're going to go even higher for essentially 485. And by the way, if SPY manages to break 563, we're looking for 565 as our target. So we're looking bullish. SPY is looking more bullish. The QQQ is looking more bullish. We could be pushing a bit more, but like I said before, always watch your levels just to be safe. As of right now, we're doing a great job. On the Russell 2000, we dipped with the Michigan consumer sentiment data. Then we got a big bounce. We're looking for a test of 202.64. If that breaks, I'm looking for 204. And if we end up losing 200, we could turn back down. But in my opinion, we're looking a bit more bullish. On ES, we're looking bullish. I want to see us hold above 56.30. As long as that holds, we're looking for an attempt for essentially 56.50, and eventually much higher levels such as 56.80. If we end up losing 5,600, it's going to be a bad sign and we could be dipping back down to 5,580. But for now, we're favoring the upwards direction on ES, and this could be favoring, a much bigger push. For NQ, I'm looking for 19,600 as the main support. I want to see us hold that. As long as that holds, I could be looking for an attempt to get back up to about 19,800, where these wicks are right over here. If we end up losing 19,600, we could turn back down to about 19,450. For now, we look a bit more bullish, in my opinion. For Bitcoin, we're looking quite good. We managed to get back above 84,000, which is a good sign. So we could be attempting to push even higher for essentially 85,500 next. We're doing a good job. Nvidia needs to hold 120. As long as that holds, we're looking for an attempt for 123.5. I don't want to see us lose. Let me just double check. This is 117 area. As long as we're above that, we're still favoring the upwards direction for like 123. Tesla's looking more bullish, but here's the thing about it. We have a tough resistance near 249 to 250. That's where our 200 EMA happens to be. If we break 250, we have a gap to fill all the way back up towards, at least on the 30 minutes time frame, we could push for 252. And then if that breaks, we're looking for 262 as our next potential target. If we end up losing this 246 area, we could be dumping back down to 244, but we remain a bit more bullish, especially if we break past 249. So for now, I'm looking for a test near 250. If that breaks, we could continue to go. So we're looking quite good. And I think that Tesla has more upside potential, but 250 is going to be a tough test. We'll see if that breaks or not. It's going to be a little bit tough. For Apple, we're looking for 212.86. If we could break that, I think we could return for 215. It's a tough resistance, and Apple's been a little bit weak, despite the fact that we had, lots of bad news coming out from Morgan Stanley and different analysts. I think we're doing a good job at being resilient. For Coinbase, we're looking a little bit more bullish. I just don't want to see us lose 183. As long as that holds, we're looking for 187 as a potential target. For Amazon, I want to see us break past 198. If that breaks, we're looking for essentially 200. And if we end up losing 196, we could turn back down to 194. So look for a test of 198. If that breaks, we're looking for basically the 200s. I do think we're going to be testing at least 196.5, and I think we look a bit more bullish. Meta needs to hold 602. As long as 602 and 600 hold, we have two supports there. I think we do favor a push to 610. And if we could break that, we have an imbalance to fill all the way back up towards 620. So we look a bit more bullish to me. Microsoft looks a bit more bullish. I want to see it hold 384.86 though by close. If we fail there, we're looking for 382 as our support. As long as we're above that, we're looking for an attempt for 387. Google's looking more bullish. As long as we're above 166, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to 167. And if that breaks, we have an imbalance to fill at 168. So we're looking a bit more bullish right now. I just don't want to see us lose 163 to turn back down. So as long as we're above that, we look pretty good. The VIX has a head and shoulders. It's looking weak here, and we do have a gap to fill. So because it's looking weak here, this is a good sign that the market is trying to push even higher. So far, the bulls have a bigger edge. As of right now, I do see that targets being made. I do see SPY hitting 563.5. We look good, but whether or not this continues past that depends. So watch and see how it reacts to that resistance, and then we'll be very, very patient nonetheless. I thank you all so much for listening, so have a good rest of your day. I'll be back with another upload very soon. Until then, have a good one, guys. Watch your levels, and peace out.